Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste. And this session, let us begin to recite from chapter 2. Vyasuvacha tataste tu bhinoste se himachala tatashaya maya bija japa saktas tapaste brusamakita jayatam paramang shakting lakshaparshanya bhunripa tatapasana devisa pratyakshan darshanang dado Pasang kushavarabhiti Chaturbakustri Lakshana Karuna Sasta Sampurna Sachidananda Rupini Trishpatam Sarvajanani Tustumur Munakyo Malam Namaste Vishwarupayagi Vaishwanara Samutayagi Namaste Jasta Rupayagi Sutratma Babushe Namam Yasmin Sarve Lingadeha Ota Prota Yapastita Namaha Pragya Swarupai Namo Vyakrit Murtaye Namaha Pragyat Swarupai Namaste Pramurtaye Namaste Sarvarupai Sarvalakshat Mamurtaye Iti Stutva Chigadatring Bhakti Gadadaya Panimuscharana Bojam Daksha Munakyo Balam Tatha Prasanatha Devi Pravacha Pikapashini Parambruta Mahabhaga Paradaham Sadamata Tasyastu Vachanam Srutva Harabhishvosta no Samam Tayosta Shakti Lavancha Bravire Nipasatama Chakshota Punarapyaha Jama Devi Kule Mama Babeta Tamba Tinaham Krita Krityo Babe Iti Japang Dhanam Tata Pujam Stanani Dividani Cha Vadame Parmeshani Samuke Ne Bhakevalam Devi Vacha Mashaktorya Banamaracha Jatavasta Tayo Dvayo Ne Tadvisha Prakartabyo Me Parabda Kadachanam Odunanya Makripaleshat Sharire Svastada Tayo Pavishati Chakti Sakti Tagriye Chira Sagare Tanishyas Tatra Tabyam Tabyataha Prerite Maya Maya Bijangi Mantrome Mukya Priya Karasada Dhyanam Virat Swarupam Me Atma Prathasthitam Satchidananda Rupam Ba Stanang Sarang Jaganmama Yushmabi Sarvada Chaham Pujya Jayacha Sarvada Yasuvacha Yutvata Data Devi Manidvipa Dibasini Daksha Munakya Sarve Pramanam Punarakayu Brahmestar Britantam Katayama Suradarat Harakrishta Swastosto Swaswakar Kyachmodvipa Jato Parampa Kripaya Kavina Rakito Tada Tadachidata Kaletu Mahasakta Mabhadarat Daksha Ke Maharaja Trigo Ke Yutsabo Papat Devasamudita Sare Pushpa Rishting Chachakrire Nidudundun Bhakya Swarge Karakoa Karnata Hasvipa Manastasan Empananami Sadhunama Malakmanam Sarito Markabakinya Suprabhudi Bhakra Mangalayam Tu Jatayam Jatam Sarvatra Mangalam Tasya Nama Satin Chakre Satvatwara Parasampadida Tado Punasivayata Tasya Satistu Yapapat Sapuna Jwalane Dada
Deva yoga manor nipa chanami jayavacha anartha karami tate sravitam vachanamune itavisam mahad vastu katanda dang utasane yanam smaranamrinam sansara nivaikandati nikena kama vipakena marodudanda devaki vyasuvacha Srinurajam pravritam satida tasya karanam kadachitata durvasam gado jambuntanishrim tadarsha deving tatrasa mayabhijam japapasam tadhapasana devesi nijakanta gatang srajam pramarat santatang makaradam kulam Tado prasada bhutang tang Jagrata sirasamani Tatonya katyatarasa Yoma margena tapasa Ajahakam hasad yatraste Daksha saksat satipita Sandarshanarta mambaya Nanamasa chasatipade Krishno dakshina samunir Malakashyata lokiki Katam latva jnanata dulabha bhuri manave chatrutva bhajanam dasya pravacha shushutechanam devya prasada matulam premargadandhi tantaram pardayamhasatam malam tamuni sasiti pita adeyam chakti bhaktaya nasti trilokya mandale iti bodhyatu tamalam manavesa samarpakat rita sirasamala manuna nija mandire stapita sakinang yatra dampatyo rati sundaram pashukamarato ratro malag gandena bodhita mapavatsa maki palas tena papena sankare Sive dvesamati chato Devyam satyam tatam vipa Rajanstina paradena Tajanyo degrami vacha Satya yoga dina dada Sati damaji dikshaya Punascha kimabhat prishte Padurasi tutanmaka Janve jahuvacha Dakyamane sati dehe Jate kimatruchiva Panamatika sati tasya Piyogina katara vyasuvacha Tata parantu yajatam Maya vakunda sakyate Trilokya palakyo jata Shiva kobhagi namipa Virabhadra samutpano Bhadrakali gunanvita Trilokya nasani no yecho Virabhadro yadabhavat Brahmadhyata dadeva Shankaram saranam yagyu Jate sarvasvasta sepi Kanunaniti rishvara Abhayam databham stevyo Vastapatrena tambanum Ajivayam bhaktavaso Tatakino mekeshvara Yagabhatam upagamya Rodavi sudha dukita Apasyatam satidvano Dakyamanam tuchitalam Skandepya raupaytamasam Asatiti matanmakum Prabhrama pranti chitasan Nana deseshu sankara Tada brahmadagyo devyash Chintamapura nuttamam Vishnu stutra gatatra Tanududyam yaparkane Chicheda vayapam satyas Tasastaneshu te patam Tasastaneshu tatrasim Nanamurti durokara Vachachatato devan Sanisveteshu keshivam Pajanti parakyabhakya Tesham kinchintatudabam Nityam sanikita tatra Nijangeshu parambika Stanisveteshu ke martya Purashtarana karminam Tesham mantra prasidanti Maya bijam vishesatan Idyutva sankarasteshu Staneshu vibrakatura Kalangi Pripaspreshta Chapatanam Samadhivi Janame Jayuvacha Om.
Let's go back to the beginning of this chapter and translate for a while. Vyas said they took refuge in a wooded area in the Himalaya mountains where they joined together in the japa of the Maya Bija ring with all of their capacity in purifying austerities. So they means all the sons of Brahma, Sanak, Sanatan, all of the Kumars, and the vine-born sons of Brahma, including Daksha. And they all went to the Himalayas, and where the Devi Mandir is situated, and they began to make japa of ring, ring, ring. And they meditated on the supreme energy for 100,000 years, O king. And then the goddess was pleased and appeared before them in a perceivable form. Noose, curved sword, the mudras granting boons and freedom from fear, she showed in her 4 hands. She had 3 eyes filled completely with the sentiment of compassion, the form of truth, consciousness, and bliss. Seeing her, the mother of all, the pure men of wisdom with great satisfaction said, "We bow down to the form of the universe, the image of universal existence in the gross body." We can see with our senses. "We bow down to the form of light who exists all throughout the subtle body. We bow. In every subtle body you are situated, inseparably interwoven. You are the warp and the woof of the subtle body of existence. We bow down to you in the causal body. We bow to the image of infinite existence. We bow to the intrinsic nature of all. We bow to the image of supreme divinity." If ever there was an image of supreme divinity, that form is yours. We bow to the form of all, to the image of the soul of all definitions. You define all that is in creation. You are the goal of all that is in creation. You are the wealth of all there is in creation. And you are the soul of all definitions. Thus, praise was sung to the Mother of the Universe in a voice choked with devotion. Daksha and the other pure munis bowed down at her lotus feet. Then the goddess, being pleased, spoke to them with a voice as sweet as that of a cuckoo bird. "Ask for a boon, O greatly fortunate ones. I am always ready to grant boons." Hearing these words from her, they asked for peace for Hora, Shiva, and Hori, Vishnu. Let Shiva and Vishnu get peace, and that they get their Shaktis again. And, "O truthful king," then Daksha prayed, "O goddess, please take birth in my family." Yeah, I'm going to be the Shaktiman to the Shakti. I will be the boss of the Shakti. "Let her take birth in my family, and my household will be filled with Shakti. If you, the Divine Mother, would do so, then I will attain the reward of all actions." Remember, that was Brahma's promise. Whoever could inspire the Divine Mother to take birth and marry Shiva and marry Vishnu and send the guys back to work, whoever could inspire the Divine Mother to do that, he will receive the fruit of all 4 actions, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha. Chaturbharta will be fulfilled. Recitation of mantras, meditation, and worship. Where and how should they be performed? Where should we perform meditation, Mom? Give us a hint. Give us a clue. Which mantra should we recite? Tell me, O Supreme Lord, from your mouth only. I want to hear it. I know the answer is going to be something that I'm not quite going to possibly live up to. But I'm going to try my best to at least listen to the words from your mouth. And the goddess said, the disrespect shown to my Shaktis has given rise to the present circumstance of these two. That's Shiva and Vishnu. There they are. They have no inspiration. They have no motivation. They have no energy. They're just sitting around with lethargy and watching Brahma create, protect, and transform the universe by himself. Now that kind of insult should never be shown to me for any reason. Don't you disrespect the manifestation of my Shakti. Every woman in the world is a representative of the Divine Mother. Don't you disrespect women. Now, by my grace, their bodies will regain health. Their Shaktis will manifest, one in your house, Daksha, and the other in the milk ocean. They, Shiva and Vishnu, will understand that this will happen when they feel the urge to chant my Maya Bija Mantra Ring. All of a sudden, Shiva and Vishnu will get inspired and say, hey, wait, maybe we shouldn't just sit around like a bunch of duds. Let's get up off our duffets and sing the mantra Ring. This mantra is in me and is always the foremost to give me pleasure. So there, when we look at the alphabet of Sanskrit, the first letter is Om, the infinite beyond conception. The second letter is Hring, all of Maya. All that can be perceived through the senses, conceived in the mind, known through intuition and beyond. This mantra is in me and is always the foremost to give me pleasure. Meditate upon the form of my gross body, or else upon its former position, as the form of truth, consciousness, and bliss. So choose. You choose. You can meditate upon a form that you can see through your senses, like that one on the altar, who's blessing us. Or you can meditate upon the formless Satchidananda, infinite consciousness, truth, and bliss. It's up to you. But don't neglect to meditate. All the places of the world are mine, and I am with you all the time. Therefore, you can worship and meditate at any time in every place. You don't need a special place and you don't need a special time. Any time in any place. Vyas said. Thus giving her reply, the goddess, who lives in the island of jewels, went within. She became imperceivable. Daksha and the other Munis again went to Brahma. They all formed a circle near to Brahma and respectfully explained what had transpired. Hara and Hori regained their health and their capacity to perform their functions, O king. By the grace of the Supreme Mother, their pride was now absent. Then, at a specific time, the great energy became an avatar, manifested in a physical body in the house of Daksha. O great king, in the three worlds there began festivals of celebrations. All the gods were extremely delighted and caused a rain of flowers. The Dundubi drums resounded from heaven, using the hands as drumsticks. O king, the minds of all were delighted, and spiritual seekers held on to her name and kept it fixed in their meditations. Ring. And Sati was born in the house of Daksha. The rivers flowed in their courses, and the sun shined with excellent luster. When she who is welfare was born, welfare everywhere was born. Her name was given as Sati, the cause of true existence, the cause of truth, she who embodies truth, she who is beyond truth, she who is the ultimate truth, because in the cycle of true existence, she is beyond universal knowledge. Again, she was given to Shiva as his Shakti. But again, she burned herself in a fire of divine union from within her own mind, O king. Remember, at Daksha's yajna, Sati created the fire and burned her body again. Janamejaya said, now that's the king, who he's getting this narration of the story, and he's asking Vyas, O Muni, these words that you have told me are extremely inauspicious. I mean, we went to such lengths to get the Divine Mother to incarnate in an embodied form, and then there she goes and burns it again. Am I hearing correctly that such a great being burned herself in a fire? Remembering whose name even human beings will not fear the fire of samsara, the world of objects and relationships? I mean, her name we remember so that we become free from fear of the fire of samsara, of this whole world of objects and relations. How could she burn herself in a fire? For what action did she burn herself in the fire of her own mind? Why? What happened? Vyas said, listen, O king, to this ancient occurrence, the cause of the burning of Sati. Once upon a time, Durvasha Rishi, the famous Rishi, always known for his Durvasha, he had Durmukh. His Vasha was always inauspicious. He was quick to anger. He was a manifestation of Shiva as Rodra, and he was fierce. Anyway, one day, once upon a time, Durvasha Rishi went to the queen of the rivers, Jambu. And there he saw the goddess and began to recite the Maya Bija Hrim. So here is the goddess is sitting at the river, the Jambu River, and Durvasha is saying, ring, ring, ring. Then the supreme of the gods became very pleased, and she took from her own neck a garland of flowers. She was wearing this garland of flowers, a beautiful mala some devotee had given to her. Bees, intoxicated with the scent of jasmine, were swarming around this mala. It was so sweet. And she took it off and she gave it to him, to Durvasha, as prasad, a gift of the worshipper from the worship. It's a consecrated offering, and she's been wearing it. Now it was presented to Durvasha, which the Muni took upon his head. And then he returned, passing through the atmosphere by means of his spiritual powers attained through purifying austerities. And now, so he was up in he was in the subtle body, in the Akash. He was floating through the air, and he was passing through the atmosphere, and he was coming back down to earth. He came to where Daksha was staying, who was actually the father of Sati. And seeing the Divine Mother, he bowed down to the feet of Sati. I mean, he had heard that Sati had just taken birth on the earth, and so he went to see Sati and her dad. Daksha asked about the Muni's mala, about his garland. Whose is this extraordinary garland? Tell me how you got this, O Great One, which is difficult of attainment by humans. This is a divine garland of flowers. It's a magnificent mala. It smells so beautiful, so fragrant. It's obviously it came from a very special place. From where did you get this mala? Listening to that question of his, Durvasha replied with tears in his eyes and love in his heart, it is the prasad of the goddess. Mom gave it to me herself. The father of Sati asked the Muni for the garland. Give me the garland. That's what Daksha said to Durvasha, give me the garland. And the Muni thought that there is nothing unfit. Nothing is unfit in the regions of the three worlds to give to a devotee of divine energy. He is so much a devotee of the Divine Mother that she took birth in his house. What could I withhold from him? If he requested me for my head, I would give him my head, let alone the garland. Of course, with this understanding, he gave that desired garland to Daksha, who accepted the garland on his head and went to his own temple. Now, he put it there near the bed of the lord of the house. That's the master bedroom. The bed of the lord of the house. He put it right next to the bed. And his beautiful lady. Well, that's where they slept. He, Daksha, and his wife, Prasuti. That was her name. Being intoxicated by the fragrance of the garland, he engaged in animal behavior during the night. Chi. Mistakenly, he thought that his own sin was the blame of Shankar, the protector of the earth. And thus his enmity with the benevolent Shiva and the goddess Sati was born. And this needs a pound of commentary. He was abusive and out of line. He engaged in animalistic behavior, which meant that he was devoid of his buddhi. He related from his lower chakras when there's a pashu nature, and in the middle chakras there is a virya nature, and his upper chakras there is a divya nature, and he related from pashu bhav. And now he said, Shiva is Pashupati. And the Pati, the lord of all animalism, comes from Shiva. And if there was any regretful behavior that was performed by the animal that is in here, it's Shiva's fault. Because he's the lord of animalism. If he didn't want me to be animalistic, he wouldn't have inspired that behavior within me. Shiva is at fault. And thus, he thought his own sin was the blame of Shankar, the protector of the earth. And thus, his enmity with the benevolent Shiva and the goddess Sati was born. O king, because of that fault, she, Sati, burned her body born of Daksha in the fire of yoga for the purpose of showing the ideal of true wifely devotion. And the way this happened was that Daksha decided he would have a yajna. Remember, he was going to have the yajna by which he would initiate the new creation. And he invited Brahma, he invited Vishnu, and he invited all the gods and all the munis, but he didn't invite Shiva. He said, I'll show that Shiva is nobody. He's not even worthy of being invited to my yajna. Well, Shiva was in deep meditation on Kailash, and Sati was looking out the window, and she saw the Ashwin twins going by, and she said, where are you going? And they said, don't you know, Sati? There's a great yajna at your father's house. Daksha is performing the yajna of yajnas, the affair of the century, the affair of the yuga, by which he's going to initiate the next creation. And Sati said, oh, I didn't know. And the Ashwins went on their way, and they joined the yajna. And Sati went to Shiva, where Shiva was meditating, and she said, Shiva. Shiva didn't wake up. She said a little louder, Shiva. And Shiva didn't pay any attention. And ultimately she got very angry. She said, Shiva, I'm not going to stand around here watching you meditate while my father's having the yajna of yoga. And I'm going to go to my father's yajna. Shiva opened his eyes and said, Sati, we weren't invited. And Sati said, why do I need an invitation to go to my own father's house? I'm going to be such a prima donna that I need a written, engraved invitation to go to my father's yajna? Nonsense. I will go there, even without an invitation. And Shiva said, Sati, that's not appropriate to crash the party. You weren't invited. I wasn't invited. He actually planned this yajna to make an insult to me. You won't be respected there. You will only find insult. And Sati said, oh, in any regard, I must go and ask my father what is the meaning of this insult and why does he want to put us down? I thought a father would want to raise his children up. Shiva said, I can tell your mind is made up. You can go to the yajna if you choose, but it's your father, and I won't come in the middle between you and your father in your relationship, but I'm not going. So he called Nandi, and he called Sringi and Bringi, and he called all the Shivagan, and he said, hey, Shivagan, take Sati to the party. Sati went to the yajna, and they were just about to start the yajna, and Sati walked in, and Daksha stood up and said, hey, what are you doing here? You weren't invited. And Sati said, Father, does a daughter need an invitation to come to her father's house? You would dare to have a yajna without Devavi Deva, Mahadeva, without Shiva? How can your yajna be complete? Shiva is Yajneshwar. How can you purposely show disrespect to Shiva? And Daksha got mad and said, that no good hippie, he's naked, he takes bung, he drinks liquor, he sits under a tree with ghosts and goblins. I don't know why you wanted to marry the guy in the first place, but if you did, I mean, that's your business. Don't bring your marital affairs to my yajna. And Daksha was abusive. And Sati said, Father, this body was engendered by you, and I respect my Lord Shiva with the highest regard. And so I don't want to wear this body engendered by you anymore, because I consider that an insult to Shiva. And so Sati sat down and began to meditate. And from the light of her mind enveloped a great fire, and that fire consumed her body completely. And again, because of Himalaya's desire, she manifested her great body from the imperceivable. And Janmejaya said, after the burning of the body of Sati, what did Shiva do? And when separated from his own beloved Sati, what did he do? Vyas said, my speech has no capacity to tell what happened beyond that. Ascharya. It's Bhishma. It's incredible. The dissolution of the three worlds began from the fire of the anger of Shiva. O king, Birbhadra was born, as well as Bhadrakali and her multitudes. Birbhadra was capable of destroying the three worlds to make non-existence, to make all existence imperceptible. Birbhadra, in an instant, he could make existence into non-existence. Then Brahma and the gods went to take refuge in Shankar's compassion. Even though his own was destroyed, the compassion of the Supreme Lord was not. He granted them freedom from fear, and the head of a goat was put on the man Daksha, restoring that great soul from death. So when Birbhadra came to the yajna, he destroyed the entire yajna and cut off Daksha's head from his body. And when Brahma and Vishnu and all the gods went to Shiva, they said, Shiva, he was wrong, there's no doubt. And he blew it badly. But he was doing the yajna by which creation would begin. And without Daksha. Now Daksha is a Hamkari, no question. He's full of ego. But Daksha means ability. Yogita. The capacity to perform efficiently. Without efficiency, how can we have a creation? How can we start creation without an ability, without talents, without capacities? So, Daksha has to live. Give him another head. Shiva gave him the head of a goat. And from that time, that old goat got his goat. And he restored that great soul from death. Then, in much distress, the great Lord of all, that Shiva, went to the sacrificial area and cried in pain. Not seeing his sati, who had been burned in the fire of consciousness, he put the body upon his shoulders and cried, "Oh my sati, oh my sati," again and again. Hasatiti Pandey Makur. With a confused consciousness. Again, Shiva falls into Maya. With a confused consciousness, Shankar roamed in countries with many names. He roamed around the universe with this deceased body of Sati on his shoulders. And then the gods became extremely anxious, and the compassionate Brahma requested Vishnu to quickly lift up his bow. With his arrows, he cut the body of Sati into pieces, letting them fall in different places. So here was Shiva. He was also doing the Tandava. He was dancing wildly and madly with a confused consciousness, ready to destroy the entire creation. And Brahma said, "Hey, save us, Vishnu." And in this version of the story, Vishnu took his bow and his arrows and he cut the pieces of Sati's body, and they fell from Shiva's shoulder. In another version of the story, he took his discus and cut the pieces of Sati's body, and they fell from his shoulder. And whichever place a piece fell, Hora, Shiva, observed her being in a different form. He told the gods, in all these places of Shiva, meaning Sati, that's the feminine of Shiva, whoever worships with supreme devotion, for them nothing will be difficult of attainment. There, the Supreme Mother will eternally remain united with the part of her body. So, what happened was, Vishnu cut the body into pieces. 51 pieces. The 51 Shakti Pitas. And every place a piece fell, Shiva went and meditated and performed a discipline called Abhaya Yoga. Abhaya Yoga means you perceive the part and conceive the whole. Here is Sati's arm, and I picture in my mind's eye, it's connected to the shoulder and the chest, and the other arm, and the trunk, and the legs, and the head and neck. And now, from perceiving the part, we conceive the whole. Abhaya Yoga. It's a wonderful meditation technique. In fact, from this technique became born the Vipassana technique of Buddhism. Abhaya Yoga. By moving the sensation in Vipassana, we move the sensation throughout the various parts of the body. And picture the illumination of that part of the body as the sensation moves. In Abhaya Yoga, we see the part and picture the entire whole and watch as the whole comes together as one contiguous whole. Now, wherever there was a piece of the Sati's body, the 51 Shakti Pitas became a temple in honor of the goddess Sati. And across the region from where that temple is situated is always, invariably, a temple to Lord Shiva where Shiva sat to meditate. So when you visit the 51 Shakti Pitas, you will find 51 Siddha Pitas, or 51 places where Shiva performed his meditation. These are especially holy and sacred places. Each one of them is filled with energy. And he told the gods, in all these places of Shiva, meaning Sati, whoever worships with supreme devotion for them, nothing will be difficult of attainment. There the Supreme Mother will eternally remain united with the part of her body. The mortal beings who make an offering of fire sacrifice in these places, for them the mantras will be successful, especially the Maya Bija Hrim. After thus speaking, Shankar, with the pain of separation, stayed in those places. His time, O excellent king, was devoted to the recitation of mantras, meditation, and pure intuitive consciousness, samadhi. Om. Well, the text is going to go on in a very beautiful way. Let's discuss this story. I know it's told in a cryptic outline form because it's understood that you've already read all of this literature, all of these stories previously, so they're just alluding to the stories. They're not specifically telling you line by line the whole story, and that is one of the reasons that I had chosen to do the commentary of this book on video rather than sitting and writing. Because there are so many stories. The Devi Bhagavatam is a compendium of 18,000 verses. And it is just one of the sources of the stories that go into that are being alluded to in this recitation, this discourse. Do we have any questions?
Questions for me?
Yes, please.
In verses 4, 5 and 6, the Divine Mother is praised as the gross body, the subtle body,
Yes.
and the causal body.
Yes.
And the gross body is that which can be perceived by the senses,
Correct.
and the subtle body is that which can be conceived in the mind. Now, how is the causal body different from the subtle body? Is the causal body beyond the mind?
Yes, it is.
And also, do the wise ones always operate or make decisions from the causal body?
No, they do not. They do not. Decisions are made in duality, which affect duality. But centered in the causal body, knowing that they're centered with the goal of remaining in the causal body, what will be the greatest harmony of the subtle body and the gross body, this is the motivation for making a decision. All decisions are made in the subtle body. Because there's duality. In the causal body, there is only unity. Now, the causal body is known through intuition. It is known through meditation. It is known through direct, intuitive experience. There's no duality there. There's no thought there. How can you make a decision? You can only decide between this or that alternative if there's duality. So in the causal body, no. But centered in the causal body, allowed the privilege of visiting the causal body for inspiration and for strength and energy. That is their motivation for coming into the subtle body and making a decision.
Morning song from Santa Rosa.
Namaste, morning song.
Namaste Swamiji. In verse 7, what is meant by the soul of all definitions?
Sarva Lakshatma. She is the Lakshmi, the Atma of Lakshmi. And Lakshya is a definition. Laksha is a goal. Lakshmi is the wealth. She is the Lakshatma, the Atma of Lakshmi. So she's the soul of all definition. Now, were there no definition, and it doesn't mean just a verbal definition, Morning Sun. It's not like a dictionary definition. The form of an object is its definition. The limit of an object is its definition. So the Maya, which creates boundaries and encloses and distinguishes this object from that object, it defines those objects. And that's the Lakshatma. She is the Atma of Lakshmi, or the Lakshya. So that is what is meant by the form of all, the soul of all definitions.
Nilima from New Delhi.
Namaste, Nilima.
She's asking, when chanting 1,000 names or 108 names, how is that different from merely repeating the same name again and again?
It's very, very different, Nilima, because when you repeat the same name again and again and again, you start to drift off into reverie and start daydreaming and start thinking about all the things that you're supposed to do, and you forget about the name. So, in order to get us, to train us to sit still, to focus, to breathe, to understand, then if we chant many names or many texts, and the text makes us focus and it brings us deeper and deeper inside so that we can stay longer and longer with one name, and ultimately we dissolve into the name. So that's why we use the many texts of 1,000 names, or the text of the Devi Gita, or the text of any scripture that will guide our awareness into the presence of the one name and keep it there longer and longer and longer. It's the training ground. And please give our love and give our blessings to all our family in New Delhi. Namaste, Pakya.
Pranam Swamiji, if the Shakti of all the Devas comes from Divine Mother, where do the Asuras get their energy and power? Since she is the source of all energy in this universe, can she be the source of their energy too?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Both the gods and the Asuras, they both derive their energy from the source of all energy, which is the Divine Mother. But the difference is the gods use her energy to create a cohesion, to create a whole, to bring everyone into unity with purity and clarity and goodness. And the Asuras use her energy for self-aggrandizement, to make their own personal selves, their egoistic attachments enhanced. Not thinking about how to create a whole, using a benefit for everyone. They think a benefit for me. And that's the difference between the Asuras and the Devas. Same energy. But the motivation of employing that energy is different. And thank you very much for your question, Papa.
Question from Nanda from San Jose.
Namaste, Nandama.
Namaste Swamiji, the Devi Gita talks about the birth of goddess in the house of Daksha and Himalaya. Is there a similar text that talks of the birth of Mahalakshmi to the ocean of milk?
It's going to come in this text itself. It'll come soon. Please be a little patient. We're just getting to the boons where they said they will take birth. Wait till you find out what happens, how they do take birth.
Swamiji, Dilip has a question from Florida.
Sure, Dilip.
He also wants you to describe all the cases where Sati's pieces fell.
Dilip, that's the next section of this chapter. And we will describe them. And we'll talk about them too, and they're really fun. They have both a geographical location and a a spiritual location within us as well. So that all the 51 Shakti Pits, and in this text there are 108 Shakti Pits. And we're going to place them right through our body. It becomes a nyas. It's really exciting, Billy. We'll get there, I promise.
Swamiji, a question from Amitabh from Benares.
Namaste, Amitabh.
I do some part of the Chinese path every day, Swamiji. What is the most appropriate occasion to recite Devi Gita?
We're going to get it in here in chapter 2 and again in chapter 10. The best time to recite it, of course, if you can't do it every day, then you should do it especially at the time of Shraddha and at the time of Tarpon. Both of these times are most auspicious for the recitation of the Devi Gita. It's going to tell us in the text.
Usha from Canada.
Namaste, Ushama.
Swamiji, do all the Shakti Pitas have a Shiva temple as well as a Devi temple? I know the Yoni one is a very powerful. Are there special ones or are they all equal? Are the locations all known?
The locations are all known and they are disputed. So there are several lists, especially of the 51 Shakti Pitas, because in the Devi Bhagavatam and in the Devi Gita there became 108 Shakti Pitas. Now there are several different lists. Generally there are two lists which are most predominantly agreed upon. Interestingly enough, the first name on every list is Kamakhya, where Sri Ma took her birth. And after that there is Vaishnav Devi, Meenakshi. There are various temples which are on all the lists. But then there are some temples which didn't make it to the A list. Now, in several of the areas, there are Shiva temples in existence. In many of the areas, there are the Shiva temple is dilapidated or in total disrepair. In fact, I want to tell you a story about our visit to Pushkar, where we were looking for the Puruhuta Mandir, and we're going to find that in. We're going to find it both in chapter 2 and in chapter 10. Let me see if I can find it very quickly. In Pushkar, she's known as by the name of Puruhuta, and that's in verse 59 of chapter 2. We got to Pushkar, and we asked all the pundits in all the temples we visited, where is Puruhuta temple? And all the pundits said, we've never heard of a Puruhuta temple. I said, I'm looking for a special Devi temple. It's right here in the Devi Gita. They said, we don't know of any Puruhuta temple, but there's an old Chandi temple outside the town about 6 kilometers away. We immediately got on a camel cart. In Pushkar, you ride by camel cart, not by ox cart, and not by bullock cart, and not by horse cart. You ride by camel cart. And we went out into the desert, and we went around to a mountain, and there was this old, dilapidated temple, completely neglected. And it was a Devi temple. And etched into the stone above the door mantle, it said, Puruhuta. And nobody knew. All the pundits in the town didn't know that they were sitting next to the Puruhuta temple, a very famous Shakti Pita from the Devi Gita. Well, we cleaned up the temple to the best of our ability. We performed puja. We did a homa. We fed everybody in the neighborhood. And then we went back. And we were very happy. So in that way, Ushama, you'll find many of the Shakti Pitas are in disrepair. The Shiva temple beside it has been neglected. Much of the tradition has been lost. If you go as a scholar and take the scripture with you and do the homework and do the detective work, it's possible that you will find the right locations.
Nanda has another question. Since Daksha is translated as ability, does this imply that ego and ability always go together? How does one transform such ability
Well, it's possible to serve others, but still we want to maintain the understanding that I am not the doer. That I am the instrument, and you are using this instrument to do. It's not my ability. So whenever I have the ability, he becomes an egotist. Now, when it becomes the talent that you've entrusted to me to use on your for your benefit, then it's no longer my Daksha. It's not my capacity, my ability. It becomes your tool. Use it as you will.
Swamiji, in verse 11, Daksha says, then I will attain the reward of all actions. Don't we all get the reward of our actions?
No, of all actions. Now, the reward of all actions is known as Chaturbarga. Brahma defined that for us in the first chapter. He said, if you do this, you get Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Now, the reward of all actions is Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. What other reward would you want? So then Daksha is really saying, I want it for me. I'm not thinking about how I can save Brahma from the strain of doing all the work by himself. I'm not thinking how I can assist in bringing Vishnu and Shiva back into the fold. I'm not thinking how I can make the greatest creation, how the greatest harmony in creation. I'm thinking, how can this Daksha get for me the reward of all actions to be envied by all? I become Prajapati. I become the Lord of all beings. I become the progenitor of creation. This is Daksha's outlook. This is what he's seeking to become.
Swamiji, even though he was seeking that why mother agreed when she was born in his family,
whoever will worship her with one pointed devotion, with sincerity, with clarity, with purity, she will grant the boon. Be he Ashur or be he a Deva. In either event, she will grant him the boon. Whoever will worship without any equivocation, unconditionally surrender to the Divine Mother, then and there she will grant him the fruits of all actions. Yes, please.
But following along that point, if an Asura has worshipped for so long with one point of devotion, they're no longer Asura then.
That's true, but when they get the object of their desire, then they forget and become Ashura once again. How easy it is to forget when we attain the object of our desire. Om Sam Saraswati Namaha. Namaste.